All right, now that we've got our Metrology .NET station agents set up, and we've got everything configured on our workstations for the calibration we want to run, the next thing we want to do is actually start and run a calibration on Metrology .NET. All right, to create the first work order in Metrology .NET so we can run a calibration, it's actually very easy. We have to navigate over to our test packages, and underneath our test packages, we have both approved and unapproved test packages. Unapproved test packages, you have to be listed in the system as an engineer so that you can run unapproved test packages that test them and then QA them and get a mark for approval to run. We'll cover how to QA a procedure and approve it for run in a later video. Right now, we can click on our approved and we can come in and run Keysight 34450. To do that, we click on the actions over here to create a work order. We can see a list of all the assets inside of our database, or we can come in and create a new asset. So to create a new asset, you get a pop-up. You go ahead and type in your asset number, type in your serial number, any units, select all the options, and then hit save. When you hit save, that will automatically select that asset off the pop-up. So here we're just going to create our new or select our asset that we have in for cal. And then what we do here next is we use a work order system. And we get the work orders out of our existing lab management system, or we can create our own. For testing purposes, we use the year, dash the month, dash the day, and then 01, 02, however many cows we've done that day. We can assign it out to any of the station agents that are on our network. So I'm going to assign this to 03, and then I'm going to reach in here and I'm going to assign it to me. And now I'm going to create the work order. So what Metrology.net is doing in the background is it's taking all of the data points associated with this test package, and it's only going to add to the work order the test points that apply to that option configuration, that cal interval that you want to run it on, or any make model configurations and or serial number prefix breaks. So this takes a couple seconds to run through and get this put together, but it is very effective in allowing us to create one test package that covers all the options and configurations of a make model. Now we can see that it's got all the data points and it's starting to create the make model configuration of this. It's got 13% of it done, and this progress bar will run across the screen each time it adds in a new test group with all the test points that go with that test group. So once the work order page is up, now you can sit back and double check as to what workstation you're running on. It's going to give you a list of all the workstations on your network. You can also double check the run type that you want to do. If you want to run all the tests or you only want to run the untested data points. So to run a process, all you need to do is right-click on the Run button, select the technique that you're going to use from the drop-down. You can optionally select a measurement uncertainty calculator if you have those loaded, and then you can simply hit the Run button. What will happen is you'll see that the work order goes to a status queued, so now the station agent is constantly checking to see if it has any work. Once it finds the work, it's going to change the status from queued to running automated. That lets you know that it started doing the process. Then the next thing it's going to do is come up and it's going to give you the first part of the process, which is either this is the equipment that's going to be required or it's going to be the configuration. So now it is loaded with the configuration. So it's going to allow me to select the number of tests I want to run for each one of these test points. So this is what we use when we're doing a 17025 calibration and we want to take 5, 10, 25 measurements. It also has scanned the bus and found a unit under test, and I can, from the drop-down, select my unit under test that I'm going to run. Once we're all configured and ready to go, I can hit continue. Now you can see it's given us our first connection where it wants us to connect or disconnect anything from the input. Double check that nothing's connected and I hit continue. Now as it loads this up, you can see it's processing through each one of the data points. We've already got 4 data points collected. So the system is designed to be fully threaded. So you can be running test processes while it's updating the screen. It's not going to wait for a screen update before it moves on to the next test point. Now we get the next connection where it wants us to connect the 4-wire short to the front input. So we connect it, hit continue, and the test continues processing through all the data points. And you can see that we're calculating our TURs, our confidence, and our false accept numbers. Once the calibration or that test group is complete, you'll see it'll come back. It'll give us a final test or a final status of we passed or failed. And now we can come back and run the next test group. The software will allow you to run any test group in any order. And as you're running the test processes, you get multiple things you can select from. So you can run it with a 5500, you can run it with a 5700. If you've got a MIA test calibrator, whatever standards you have that can do the work, the software will let you select that standard. The software will let you select that standard and run.